A millionaire saw a single mother searching through trash on the street for food, and what he did shocked her. Snow fell unevenly that night in Cleveland, turning cracked sidewalks into dirty mirrors reflecting yellow streetlight. Old factories, abandoned for decades, cast long shadows over streets where silence was broken only by the distant sound of a train and the cutting wind slipping through cheap coats. It was there, between a closed industrial building and a dented metal dumpster, that Michael Harrington slowed his car without knowing exactly why. At 52, Michael was known as a man who didn't make mistakes. Founder of a logistics company that had grown alongside the city and then survived its decline, he had learned early to trust only numbers, contracts, and cold decisions. He lived alone in a large house on the outskirts of town, with windows far too big for someone who avoided looking inward. His marriage had ended years earlier. No children, no scandals, just a quiet, irreversible exhaustion. When his headlights illuminated the figure kneeling on the sidewalk, he first thought it was just another person collecting cans. But then he saw the trembling hands tearing through ripped bags and the quick motion of hiding something inside a coat. She was a young woman, maybe in her early 30s, with a face far too tired for her age. Beside her, pressed against the cold wall, a small boy watched in silence, hugging his knees. Michael parked without turning off the engine. He sat there for a few seconds, frozen between the urge to drive away and the disturbing feeling that he was witnessing something that could not be ignored. When he stepped out of the car, the creak of the door startled the woman, who turned abruptly. "I'm sorry," she said quickly, raising a hand as if already expecting an accusation. "We're leaving." Her voice held no plea, only defense. Michael noticed a bag of stale bread partially hidden beneath her coat. The boy said nothing, but his eyes were far too alert for someone his age. "You don't have to go," Michael replied carefully. "I just wanted to know if you're okay." She let out a short, humorless laugh. "Okay isn't the word, but we manage." Her name was Sarah Collins. She had worked as a waitress until the restaurant shut down after a wave of layoffs. The boy's father, Ethan, had disappeared before his son even learned to speak. Overdue rent, a broken heater, an empty refrigerator. Everything had piled up too fast. Sarah did everything she could to shield her son from reality, but that night pride had lost its fight against hunger. Michael listened in silence. He didn't offer money right away. Something about her, the way she kept her back straight even while kneeling in the trash, disarmed him. He remembered his own childhood, a drunk father and a mother who pretended everything was fine while hiding overdue bills in the kitchen drawer. "Let me take you somewhere to eat," he finally said. "There's a diner down the avenue that should still be open." Sarah hesitated. She looked at her son, then at the man in front of her. She didn't trust promises, but she trusted hunger even less. The diner smelled of strong coffee and old grease. Michael ordered burgers, fries, and hot chocolate for the boy. Sarah ate slowly, as if she didn't allow herself excess. Michael watched without staring directly, feeling something unfamiliar growing inside him, a mix of guilt, shame, and recognition. The help didn't end there. Over the following days, Michael arranged a temporary apartment for Sarah, paid to fix the heater, and recommended her for a simple administrative job at one of his partner companies. Everything seemed organized, clean, almost too efficient for the chaos she had been living in, but the real change wasn't in the practical gestures. It was in the quiet conversations, in the moments when Michael found himself thinking about them during important meetings, or when Sarah, for the first time in years, slept without fear crushing her chest. The conflict arose when Sarah discovered who he really was. Seeing a news report about Michael Harrington on the apartment's television made the ground disappear beneath her feet. Had helping her been charity? Guilt? A power play? "You could have fixed everything in one day," she said when she finally confronted him, "and you chose to watch how far I'd go on my own." Michael didn't defend himself. He simply told the truth. "Because no one did that for me when I needed it, and because I needed to know whether I was helping you or trying to save myself." The climax came weeks later, when Michael's company faced an internal investigation over past practices. His name in the headlines brought suspicious looks towards Sarah. Co-workers whispered. The help began to feel questionable. She almost left. She packed her bags in the silence of early morning, determined to owe nothing to anyone. But the boy, sitting on the mattress, asked whether that sad man would be alone again. Sarah stayed. The case was closed without charges. Michael lost contracts, but not the company. He lost the illusion of absolute control, but gained something more fragile and more real. He and Sarah never pretended they belonged to the same world. Slowly, they learned to build a shared space, made of respect, boundaries, and shared silence. The following spring, Michael drove again past the street where it had all begun. The dumpster was still there, rusted. The city remained harsh, unequal, indifferent. But this time, he didn't feel shame when he remembered. Only a quiet certainty. Sometimes looking at another person doesn't save the world, but it saves what still remains human inside us.